Heather?
Well, the push for democracy in Egypt is tangled up in a worldview based on Islam, and that's causing some confusion as outsiders in the West, well, they try to understand exactly what is going on. Take a look at this poll. It was conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2007, finding 90% of Egyptians say they believe in freedom of religion. But look at this. Yet another Pew poll done in 2010 found 84% of Egyptians favor the death penalty for anyone who leaves the Muslim religion. Now, KT McFarland is a Fox News national security analyst, and she joins us with more on this. So let's talk about that first poll right off the bat. Kind of contradictory to you, freedom of religion they believe in, but maybe not if it's not the Muslim religion.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised about these contradictory polls. Remember, Egypt has been a country that for 4,000 years has been controlled by autocrats, dictators, and pharaohs. So they don't have that sense of political parties, of opposition, of different, political agendas or stands. So I'm not at all surprised that the public opinion polls are a little all over the place. That's why this period before the fall elections is so crucial, because you have to establish political parties. They don't have any of the institutions that we have in the West that make a democracy possible. They don't have free press. They don't have political parties. They don't have freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. All that stuff has to happen lickety-split before the election.
In 6 months.
In 6 months.
Time.
And I think what you're seeing now, where are they meeting with the Muslim Brotherhood or not, the Muslim Brotherhood is the only organized opposition in Egypt because political parties have been illegal. But the Muslim Brotherhood has been able to organize because it's done it through the mosques. So that's why this period of transition is so crucial, to get some other voices out there, to get some other leaders, to get some other. Otherwise, it's going to be the Muslim Brotherhood is it, and you want to make sure that's
Does it surprise you how quickly it has changed? I mean, the pictures that Dominic just showed us of really a party or a carnival type atmosphere in the streets, at least in some areas, dramatically different than just yesterday.
Right. I mean, when you think about it, this crisis started less than 2 weeks ago. And that's just, it seems like a lifetime. I do think, though, that what's happened is, the way I think of this is a revolution, and revolutions have 3 acts. It's like a 3-act play. Act number 1, get rid of the autocratic dictatorship. Act number 2 is when the reform movement tries to form a government, often ineffectually, and often they fall out with each other. And so in Act 3 is the well-organized, best organized group in the country, often radical and ruthless, sweeps everybody else away. And what our job as the United States and the West is to shore up the Egyptians during Act 2 so you never get to Act 3.
Well, let's talk about that. Another poll, if we can bring it up, we can look at this. In terms of Egyptians and their Muslim views, 49% favor Hamas, 30% Hezbollah. Granted, again, we should say this was in May of 2010, but do you think this is an indication of the 3rd act to come?
It could be, if we don't figure out how to create and nurture and help all of those opposition parties that are potentially forming. I mean, when I was in the Reagan administration, when the Berlin Wall fell, and the Bush administration, what we did was we rushed assistance into those countries, the former Eastern European countries, which had been communist controlled.
And that hasn't happened.
We haven't done any of that. We have Democracy Corps, we all that stuff. We should be sending, the political consultants who are happy to run American campaigns, we should send them to Egypt to help the Egyptians take charge of oppositions, of establishing different political parties, of finding charismatic young candidates to run. This is a country where well over half the population is under the age of 30, under the age of 25. Where are the new leaders? We don't know yet because they've not been allowed to emerge.
Well, KT McFarland, thank you so much for joining us again. Love having you here. Thanks.